All right, all right, all right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live Asian session. I'm your host for tonight's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this evening as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we could take advantage of in this awesome Forex market. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper for notes, and let's continue to participate and engage. That is how we learn. You got to dive right in, ask those questions. So the only thing that we asked is if you're not asking a question or making a comment, do me a favor and keep those microphones on mute. And if everybody can hear me loud and clear, please drop me a one in the chat and we can get this session going for this evening. Good evening, everybody. I see all the messages in the chat. All right, so let me make sure that everybody has control over their microphone and let me exit out of here and we can get things going. So today in the Forex market, we got a CPI data report that came through above forecast, right? So if you come to trading economics as a result, the Dow plunges 1,200 points. 1,200 points in S&P and the NASDAQ losing 4.2% and 5.4% respectively as a hotter than expected U.S. inflation reading boosted expectations that the Fed will have to move even more aggressively to tame runaway price growth. So that's where we are, right? So we got a red hot CPI report that came out this morning. So at the end of the day, hey, we know that we have a hawkish Fed, we have a bullish dollar. So let all the bets begin in regards to how high they're going to raise interest rates at the September meeting. 75, 100, who knows? But we know that Chairman Powell has not changed his tone. All right, they're going to continue to be aggressive. So we'll see how the rest of the central banks and how the rest of these countries react, as they are getting a lot of pressure from a strong dollar. When you talk about the Japanese yen and some of these other countries and their currencies, it is tough to have a strong dollar, right? A dollar that's sitting this high on the totem pole when a lot of your commodities and things around the world are traded in US dollars. So bullish on the dollar we have here. Australian dollar falls after US inflation report. That's the beautiful thing about technical analysis, because we already know that the Aussie dollar was on its way to the downside. Okay, so for those longer swing trades, positional trades, we are in the right position. Technically, down, right, went the Aussie dollar. So I like these times because I like the volatility. I like to trade them. Explosive moves right on your dollar crosses today and some of the other pairs as a result of the CPI data. But that's all right, because guess what? Those corrections and continuations are setting up. So if you missed them, that's why we don't worry about trading the news per se. What we do is we wait and we see what sets up as a result of a strong fundamental occurrence. So we see that the DXY rebounds sharply after CPI reported. It started to give us a little bit of a correction, then it took off. So let's dive right in. We look at investing.com, right? Again, 1,200 point sell-off. Tech sell-off. We always know usually tech is the first in line. So none of this at this point fundamentally surprises. It is what it is. Now, tomorrow, Wednesday, we got CPI data coming out for the UK. 10% is what the forecasted number is, but we will see. We shall see. And we've got PPI coming out for the US, and we've got Q-over-Q GDP coming out for New Zealand. Hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. Give me 1 second. Jeremy, I think you should be good now. Okay, so we've got the markets rocking and rolling in September, and we've got tomorrow also, we got GDP, we've got for Australia, we've got employment numbers coming out, so we'll see how the market reacts to that. So super busy, super busy. Thursday, you got core retail sales, manufacturing numbers, you name it, we've got it. So All right. So busy, busy, busy week all the way through, pretty much. So that's that. Any questions on what's going on fundamentally? Inflation, right? Inflation, that's the concern. Nope. All right. Everybody clear? If not, ask now, forever hold your peace, at least for the next few minutes. So, all right. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to jump first into some of these dollar pairs as a result. Now we posted in the fundamentals newsletter, right, some of the setups so you can see the dollar. So we'll make sure that we keep adding charts in there, right? So we projected, right, ultimately down. We thought it would correct a little bit higher on the Aussie dollar, but we're moving to the downside, ultimately to that 1.618D extension. That's a 4-hour chart there. And then you look at the CAD, how we were sitting right at that support. So we'll look at the results of that today, see, you know, what we're looking like going forward. And then we've got crude. We'll take a look at that as well. And then we've got this this dollar yen, which is bouncing around and pushed up a little bit higher, right, to retest that extension level from the daily. So we'll see what that's looking like, and so on and so forth. You got the New Zealand dollar. So make sure if you're not checking out the newsletter, make sure you do at least take a peek at it, right? Coming into the week, this is the setup on the dollar Swissy. So we'll look and see how that's moving today. Your pound dollar, all right, we know it turned over a bit. We haven't gotten that deep retracement yet, so we'll take a look at that. Now, keep in mind with the pound dollar, right, we've got that that data coming out tomorrow, and then your euro. All right, so let's dive into the charts, take a look at the US dollar. So if I come over here to the daily, all right, we've got all right, destiny should be good. Okay, so if we come over to the US dollar, we can see that, yep, we hit an extension. Hardly any retracement. The dollar has been a monster. This is a trend I've ever seen, right, from the daily. Nice, clean moves, higher highs and higher lows. We hit this extension. So now we start to wonder, does it correct a little bit? It did, but then as a result of the CPI, right, it pushed right back up. Now, it didn't explode. It didn't take out this high yet, though. Right, so we'll continue to watch that as the week goes and as other inflation data comes out for some of these other currencies. But you can see here we have approaching the highest level since January 27, 2002. So if you zoom out, right, you can see where that dollar is trying to head. That is amazing, right? So if you look here, that's in 2002. If you zoom in on the high. All right, so we're reaching some pretty high levels on the US dollar. Okay, so if you click here on that high, January 27, 2002. All right, and we're looking like we're trying to get back to that level now. Okay, so the dollar is running away with it. All right, so that's where we are with the dollar. This is going to be something to watch to see if we're at this level again, testing this zone to see if it holds or if it just continues to push through, or so we get some relief, some profit taking, because that's what happened, right? We got some profit taking to occur. Okay, nothing fundamentally changed with the dollar. It's just it's a pretty high level. Okay, so some investors like to unload. Any questions on the US dollar?
No.
All right, awesome. So let's dive down. Let's take a look at, we'll start with the UCAD, and we can see, right? So let me pull this off. Sorry about that earlier today, right? This has just been bullish, but again, right, we're coming into some key levels. So that's, look, 1, 2, 3. We're coming up here to this level again, this 132.25 level. We've got keep in mind we've got some data coming out for the CAD employment numbers this week. So hey, it respected that level and we got bullish, right, as a result of the report, but it played right into our setup. Okay, so if we come to the 4-hour, right, so you saw here, right, when we posted it, okay, coming out of the ritual or whatnot, where's that at? Right here, right? That was sitting right in our buy zone, sweet spot zone, and sitting right at a daily level of support. Okay, and so you can kind of see, right? It consolidated, it ranged a bit, and then it broke out. It broke out to the upside. So off that support level, okay, it's up 180 pips or so. But here's the beautiful thing about the market, right? And us understanding that it moves in waves. Okay, we've got a stochastic, right? That right now is in that overbought territory. So we know that this market moves in waves. So if you didn't get it, that's okay. That's okay, right? That's why we don't worry about trading the fundamentals, because we understand that the market moves in waves. So if you come down to the one, you can see that what happened as a result is, yes, we got that deep sea correction, but guess what? We got that breakout above the cloud, right? We've got a bullish cloud up ahead. Now, this is on the 1 hour. We've got our TK crossover that occurred in a hurry, but look what is created when you get that strong impulsive move. Now you've got that gap, right? Your Tinkerson and your Kijisen, and now your Kijisen is flat, right? So it's a possible support zone later. And then look at your Chico span, exploded through the cloud. So now this is prime for the correction. We want to see this correction. So if you didn't get long out of the zone, that's okay. You never have to. The key is just realizing that price is in the zone and you can potentially get a reaction. And then it's just a matter of, does price want to move to my C to D push zone, you see? So now what we want to see is, okay, it told me now that it wants to change direction. Now I just want a low price to get long. Everybody follow me on that? Drop me a 1 in the chat. Awesome. Okay. So this is just beginning, right? So it's a beautiful B2C, right? Retracement. This is just how the market moves. Dollar's still bullish, right? Dollar's still bullish, but look at the correction for over 200 pips. Okay. It's just correcting. It's just correcting. Okay. Now we can go down to some time frames and we can look, right, on the 15. You already have a fib setting up on your 15 for the pullback. Then even on your 5, right? So if you come to your 5 and you like playing those corrections, then you could potentially play the break on the 5 or the 15, right? I know we have all different type of traders in the group. So some of us who like to intraday trade, things like that, these are prime setups. When that market is setting up to correct itself, right? You just wait patient. So maybe you wait on the 15 for everything to align for a correction to the downside, okay? Maybe you go to the 5 and you wait for everything to align and you get a correction. Do I get my bearish cloud, right? Do I get the TK crossover? Bearish cloud, price to break it. Do I get my Chico span to come below the cloud, right? So all these things just set up over and over and over again, because we know ultimately from our higher time frame, we want to see price correct itself, give us a low price, and then get long. Okay. So those corrections, right, or you can hit pay dirt, okay, especially if you're day trading and things like that, these type of setups on your lower time frames, okay, whether it be the 15 or the 5. But ultimately, we're still bullish. We're just looking for a correction on the dollar. Let me see if I've got that. I should. There we go. So there's your sub fib running off of this capital fib here, right? Because that's been a move. Look at your ABCD waves. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, right? And now we're in that up push zone. Okay, so we're looking for a correction. Maybe we push to the 118, 127, then come down, right? But at the end of the day, it's the same type of price action. All right, any questions on the dollar CAD? Nope. All right. Awesome. Give me 1 second. All right, we're all good. We're all good. Okay, so that's the dollar CAD. Let's go to the dollar Swiss. Take a look at it. And right, Ryan spotted the crown. Okay, spotted the crown. As a matter of fact, Ryan, good evening, sir. How are you?
My brother, I'm doing well. What's up, everybody? How are you?
Doing great, man. Doing great. I like the market volatility. So
Yeah, man. It, make,
I'm
it,
I'm
it
digging it.
makes it a little bit more fun.
It does. It does. I'm glad to see it come back in a hurry. So what a way to start off the September. September. So right now, man, this crown you call, okay, is playing out.
It's
Right.
a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, it's trying to form this daily low here, this daily swing low in the zone. Trying to form that daily swing low in the zone. So what I did was it the way it whipped around, I just brought that daily sub fib down to the 4 hour here. Okay. And you can see we've got that break. Look at that. Listen, when you talk about a 1, 2, 3, that's what you want, right? That's what you want. Now we're looking for right a correction and a continuation. All right. Eventually, you'll be able to, right? Let me do it here. Yeah. So we want to see price correct. All right. We want to see us get a correction, and then we want to see price continue to get long for us. All right. So a lot of times these fundamental events and occurrences can really set us up nice. So here's the one. Okay. Here's your 1 hour. That's that same fib that we brought down. All right. Just to track it, 61.8 on the nose. Now we can use this sub fib here to wait for this correction and then a continuation. So when you talk about that 1, 2, 3, and you want that trend line break, and you want this pullback, right? So you talk about the type of candlestick you want to see, like right here. That's textbook. That's textbook. Okay. We're trading probabilities. Nothing's guaranteed. But when you talk about the confirmations and things that you like to see, this is on the money. Now we want a correction and a pullback. Hey, can we get that stochastic be in the buy zone at the same time? And then we can look to get long, right? Even once your price action makes this move and corrects, even if you wanted to put a counter trend line, okay, to the downside and wait for that to break, okay, you could do that too. All right. That's it. Trend line break and a pullback. We know that a lot of times after these explosive moves, the market's going to take back a percentage of what it gained. That's just what it does. Okay. So if you wanted to come put it on your 15 or your 5, okay, depending on the style of trader that you are, you can do that. Right? You can do that. See that? Look at what that's doing. Okay. It's just moving sideways. All right. So maybe you put your template on there. We're moving sideways through the cloud. We need a stronger push. We need everything to come through. You see how that lagging span is pushing straight through price? We don't want that right now. Okay, let it take its time. Right here we are on the 15. Just a zoomed in view of what we're seeing on the higher time frames. See that? But we want to see this price correct. Okay, whether you play the correction or not, it's totally up to you. Okay, if you're long the dollar, then absolutely get you a low price and then look to buy. Any questions on the dollar Swiss?
Can you put the cloud on the 15 a minute, please? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I could do that. All right. That's where it's at. Okay. That's where it's at in the zone. That's just flat. Asian session flat. Oftentimes when you get explosive moves like that, we know, right? We all know that now. It moves. Sometimes it will just move, right? It'll just move sideways. It's a lot of activity. It'll just move sideways for a bit. But I would love to see this drop and then get long, right? And then get long. When you look at the 1, look at the 5 first. There's your 5, right? Just moving straight through it. And then if you look at your 1 hour, okay, I'll just put it on the whole workspace. See how we're trying to come through? Trying to pop through, not there, quite there yet. All right. So if you're using the cloud for confirmations, right, just wait, right? Just wait, be patient. But we know ultimately we're going to have a strong dollar. And if this daily long term, right? So when we come out the weeds from the lower time frames and we look at this long term, well, if it's going to be a bullish dollar, and we've got a 61.8 pullback, and we've got a long way, right? Now it's up to you on how you play that, whether you're in and out of it on the lower time frames for over 1,100 pips to the upside, whether you want to play the B2Cs, the 80-20s, or hey, I'm just going to wait for a low price and take the ride. I'm going to position trade it, right? Where I'm going to hold the position, and then when I get new opportunities, I'm going to add to the position and ride it for 1,100 pips. Okay, so if that's the trade idea, that's what we're looking for. We're now officially back in the buy zone with our stochastic. We haven't gotten that cloud break yet on the daily. Okay, haven't gotten that yet. All right, so we'll see. We'll see. Exciting. Exciting. That is the dollar Swiss. All right. Let's and I love it when you get right to these times where you get this volatility and the dollar is moving and shaking, because you could just trade dollar crosses and do very, very well. So is when it gets stagnant and doesn't want to move is when I really start to venture out everything, right? But if you just, my trade plan, I'm just going to trade dollar crosses, man, during these volatile times, that's not a bad trade plan at all, right? I know sometimes people like to filter out their pairs. So it is the Aussie dollar, okay? So is moving down. We do have, so we come to the daily. We're short. We know that. We've known that for a long time. Let me take this cloud off. Okay. So we've been short for quite a while, and we expect this to stay short. Is it going to have its moments where it moves bullish? Of course it will, right? Nothing goes just straight up or straight down. But at the end of the day, through all the ups and downs, it has a downward trajectory. Okay. This is the daily D extension. Based on the retracement level here, this is your extension eventually. Boom. Okay. So this still has 600 pips or so to go. So if you come to the 4 and you look at the price action from today, all right, we moved up into the zone. We got to 50%. Okay, we got to 50%. And then we got the fundamental news, and it pushed down. We almost got 61.8 right on that wick. Okay, so we got into our sell zone, and then look at it. Boom, straight drop off. So now, all right, if you didn't get a chance to participate in this, no worries. What we want to see, okay, is price to pull back, because then we have the potential for a crown. 1, price breaks the trend line. See that? 2, it takes out your A, your low. 3, identify your left tip. 4, foresee your potential right tip. Okay, so we would love to see this trade pull back. Okay, give us a healthy pullback up around the 68-78 zone. Okay, we'll see if that occurs. Okay, maybe it might chase that weekly support first. But this is ideally, this is what I would love to see. A nice pullback and then a continuation down. All right, because then that gives you the crown. Right? Left tip, center tip, foresee your right tip, and then down, right? Because that's your sub fib running off of that, like so. Oops. Get out of that. Like this. Bang. Okay. And see if that were to occur, all right, you pull back to a 786. We expect a 127 extension that's right at weekly support at 66.79. We'll see. Okay. We shall see. But being that we know we have the possibility of a correction, this is what type of setups come in. Okay. Now, whether we get it, dollar's been impulsive, we might not. But if you're using something like the cloud, you're not going to take this trade unless it breaks the cloud and gives you your confirmations anyway. But you might as well set it up. If you like to play those, you might as well set it up. Okay. Because to get short, we want a high price anyway. We want a high price anyway. So here, we're in the sell zone. Maybe we get it, maybe we don't. But ultimately, we want to see this push up. Okay. And then correct back. All right. Because we're ultimately bearish on the Aussie dollar. Okay. Your favorite pair.
It's been paying well, Ben.
With you. Right? That's it. Favorite pair is the one to make. I can roll with it. I can roll with it. So yeah, just stay. Hey, stay short, look for new opportunities. All right. So that's the Aussie dollar. Any questions on that? Let me see what the 5 is looking like with the cloud. Just moving sideways. Just moving sideways. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. All right. We don't have that lagging span through. It's just everything is pushing through the middle of price. So we're consolidating after a big day. Consolidating after a big day. Got a bullish cloud though. Right. So if you're scalping, you like scalping, like tight entries, right? At 5 minutes, there's that target. What is that? That would be a monster. It's 94 pips. All right. You get above the cloud, you get your confirmation. So one to keep an eye on that Aussie dollar. All righty. Before I continue, Ryan, big day today with the CPI. Any other fundamental news besides that you might have read up on?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
Still, I'm researching some stuff on the oil situation, and what was I going to say? In Japan, haven't heard anything out of Japan yet.
Okay.
I'm looking to see. Russia's still pressing the energy issue
Okay.
in Europe, and Putin basically warned Europe of a very cold winter. The words that he chose. So so things could continue to get interesting from an energy perspective, for not just natural gas but crude as well. So he's talking both, not just one. So
so he's doubling
yeah.
down. But here's the thing. I'll tell you what I listen to, right? And the reports are that there are calls from some big players in Russia for him to step down.
Really? I can see that.
Overplayed his hand. Overplayed his hand. It's a letter from I forget who the officials are. Telling him to step down. He's overplayed his hand, setting him back to Cold War era. So it's starting to get some dissension from so on the way the war is being handled. So we shall continue to see how that plays out. Don't think it's going to end anytime soon though. So yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So yeah. All right. When you start getting that internal pressure, it becomes a bit of a different ball game. So we'll see how that plays out. So this is the NZD USD, right? Look at that, just tracking down, right? It's tracking down. Nice bearish candle to close the day to finally make a decisive move through that 60.58. So we're thinking, hey, we get some corrections, but ultimately, all right, from a daily time frame, hey, maybe we get a retest of that candle, but then ultimately down to 59.216. So as we come in, we can see, look, just bearish. It tried to give a reaction. Tried to give a reaction off of that support at 60.58, but then it crashed through it. But now, right, you look at your 4 hour, we're back in the buy zone, right? As far as the momentum goes, which is stochastic. And, right, do I have, let me take this off. Let's see, we need it. Yeah. There we go. So we got a 382, and then the momentum has just been pushing to the downside. To the downside. So again, at 59.21 level, we've taken out this low, now. Okay, so guess what? The Bears have scored a point. Scored a point. Now let's see if it wants to pull back. Okay, that gives you the opportunity. Okay, see, our goal is to help you be able to find your own setups. Okay, not just take signals. So anytime you see this and these impulsive moves, we know that when key levels of support are taken out, we know there comes a point where there's an opportunity for price to pull back. So if you like those intraday, those day trades, those counter trend trade setups, that's when they occur, right? That's opportunities for that, right? If you're that type of trader. Now, for people that just roll strictly with the trend, then this is just going to give you an opportunity for another high price. Tracker, I want to go to another high price and then a continuation down. Okay, so on your one, beautiful correction. Right? But now look, if you look at your sub fib on that, boom. Okay? So if you're rocking with the trend and you're not in on that position, what you want to see prior to it getting to its de-extension and this weekly support, 59.21, you'd like to see what? Same thing that a counter trend trader would like to see is momentum back to the upside before continuing down. All right. So counter trend, boom, B to C, or we know that we always have the potential for that 80-20. Okay. And then that correction. Maybe that puts you back at that level, who knows? Okay. And then down. But either way, if you're trading with the trend, you want to wait for price to push up and retest, right? The area that it just broke through, then look for the continuation down. But that would be a sub fib or a type 2 fib as we call it. But this is the main one on the one, A, B, C, D. Okay. Repetition is important because it helps you build confidence. That's why we urge everybody spend the time on the charts, because hey, if you see enough A, B, C, Ds enough, you won't hesitate to take that position when the opportunity happens. Okay. So here's the 15. It's pretty thick cloud right now. All right, some things are going to have to get shaken and moving. We're trying to get that TK crossover. All right. But we'll see. We'll see. Look at the 5. Things are moving sideways through the Asian session a bit. That just looks like the Aussie dollar or the New Zealand or the Aussie dollar, I think it was, right? Kind of in that same type of scenario. Right? If you do get an explosive move and a reaction off this level, off the 5, and it moves up, it's quite a ways, right? 76 pips to that target just lined up on the 5. So, and that's on the 5-minute chart. Even back to, right, retest some areas. Okay, it's pretty good. All right, 60 pips. And these are the things we want to look for. Up, down, and sideways. That's all the market is doing. All right, any questions on the New Zealand dollar? Good.
No, sir.
All right. Okay. 1 second. Let's take a look at the Euro USD. Okay. And let's come on out to the daily. Look, we got back to that parity, and look at that, collapsed again. Right now, all of that ranging, we're now back. Our stochastic is back in the sell zone. So this may be just a continued push off this 382 level down. So this will be interesting, especially if we take out this low, this support here. Okay, so right now this is bearish. Right now we got a huge bearish candle. That's a daily candle. We know that we may get a correction at some point. But if we look at the 4, okay, look at the 4, this is it, right? This is how we drew it up. That most likely may not get that drive back up to the high price. This just might be the 382 off of that strong daily resistance. And look at that, right? We broke parity for a little bit, and then we came right back down below. Okay, so we just look for opportunities for pullbacks and continuations here. Okay. Oh, we got a low. Yep, I think we do now. Yep. So if you're looking at this from a 1 hour chart, okay, we want to see pullbacks and continuations. Okay. So when you mark it up your chart, you know the scenarios. When we pull back right now and we get short, okay. Look to get short, same thing, same game. Okay. All right. Where we get that 80-20 with that pullback, and then we continue short. And then we know there's times where things are just so strong that it just continues straight to the D and you don't get the opportunity. That's what you want to continue to watch out for the euro dollar. Hey, pick your spots. Okay. You don't have to be in the market all the time right now to make money. Be patient. Wait for your setups. Okay. Wait for your setups. That is the euro dollar. If we drop down to the 15, you can see, look, isn't that amazing with the dollar crosses, how they're all kind of sitting in the same position? Right. It's opportunity knocking there. Just be patient. Let's put the cloud on. So these are a ton of setups to work with. If you're just starting out, these are setups that you still want to mark up because you at least want to monitor them, see the price action, see how the market flows. Okay. That's that. Any questions on the euro dollar?
No, sir.
I don't know, man. I think it's cool. Just the whole rhythm of the market and how it just flows. Right? No matter what the currency pair. You think so too?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. Right. I think it's even more amazing how hard-headed after all these years I can still be, knowing that this is what the market is doing. So,
yeah, man.
Self-mastery. I think that's the key to successful trading is self-mastery. That's my conclusion. after all these years, no matter how many times you try to tell me.
So the interesting thing is, like, that's the key to life.
It is.
That's the key to life.
It is. Master yourself, master the charts. Because, man, I look at these charts sometimes like, I don't know how I missed it. or why did I take it? But, you know, it is what it is, right? So I know you at least feel me, man. But that's the Kim, that's a nugget. Yeah, we share. We're pretty transparent guys. I'm telling you. I'm just like, I don't know how did I miss this 800 pip move? I look at the charts every day. But yeah.
Your transparency has actually kept me in the game because I was so frustrated so many times. I just want to give up. But see you guys. Yeah, I consider you guys experts. And if I can hear you say, man, I missed it. It's like, okay, Kim, you go back. You only been in this a few months. You go back.
Oh yeah. Before you know it, you've been in a few years. I'm telling you, we've read the books and watched the interviews with top traders. What was it, Minervini? It was 10 years, wasn't it, Ryan? He didn't make money for 10 years. Now he's like the trading cup champion, multiple times consecutive, the highest returns. 10 years it took him to master the type of trader he wanted to be and master himself. You know, I mean, I've heard crazy stories. Truck drivers said it took him 19 years. I was listening to one podcast interview before he got consistently profitable in the market. It's definitely not an overnight thing, nor should it be. When you're planning an industry, right, with a ton of well-educated people where there's no cap on your money. There's no cap. There's no cap. None. It's limitless, right? You have to, it's gonna take some blood, sweat, and tears to get it down. So yeah, just take your time, be patient. Be patient. We always said it, the only way you fail is if you quit. You know? Yeah, whenever I want to throw in the towels, you guys come and mess it all up. For sure. And give yourself some discovery time, right? So we're teaching you some ground rules and some stone cold fundamentals, right, about how the market flows. Okay. and technical analysis. You have to give yourself time, because you may discover something based off of the angles that we're taking that just sets you apart from everybody, that where it finally clicks. Right. So, oh, let me add this to the game. Or you may have what we teach fundamentally, and then you might be listening to one of those trader podcasts, and you might hear them say, well, once I did this or thought about it like that, and then you apply what they say to what you learned from us, and it's like, oh man, now it's just straight game busters. I got this thing. But if you don't give yourself time to get to that point, you cheat yourself. You cheat yourself. And the overall experience of mastering something. So just hang in there. Continue to hang in there. What'd you say, right? I'm sorry.
Grace. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. Perfection does not exist. We can seek it, but we ultimately know that it doesn't exist. So it's I'll probably break this down next week, but having that why that we talked about, right? And that why transcending situation, experience, and feeling to be at a completely different level. So it'll continue to drive you, understanding that because it's so large, you may never reach it, but you can strive for it and continue to make progress towards it and leave those pebbles for the people that come to follow you.
Absolutely. Well said. So yeah, man, give yourself a chance, because it takes you a while just to discover what time frame you want to trade on. And how long you can hold positions. So a couple months or so won't do it in most cases. I'm gonna take a look at this pound dollar and then this UJ, right? And so we know, right, that we're bearish, and you can see that this has been moving, right? You see that this has been moving. So somebody, if you don't learn anything but, okay, get my overall direction and take trades in the sell zone with proper risk management, drop me a 2 if you think you might do okay eventually. If you just say no counter chin trading, no nothing, right? Just, oh, I'm gonna go top down, set my support and resistance, drop my fibs, and set me some rules in regards to which levels I want to take trades at. And if you use a smart trader, oh, I'm just going short in the red, right? And put my stop right above my A or whatnot, and use proper risk management. I think if you just spend time on the charts and scroll through, I think you might do okay, right? I think you might do okay to say, I'm gonna leave it go until it hits the D. I think it can really simplify things for a lot of people. We cover all different aspects because we have all different types of trading. But the nuts and bolts of what we do is A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. That's really it. The hard part is being patient for something like this. This is a daily now, and let price run 500 pips and stick to your bias of being short, and then saying I'm gonna enter it, right? Because now that's 800 pips, and I'm not even to the D extension yet. Right? That's what gets everybody going is, can I go 3-4 days or a week or 2 weeks waiting, or 3 weeks or a month waiting on the pound dollar to get to the level that I see fit? That's the tough part, right? Because of the way a lot of us are introduced to trading, right? This is my preferred method, right? Daily or 4 hour, right? Letting it run into your zone, trading small, letting it play out, letting it run, adding, right, to the position when you get a chance, okay? And you could just leave that alone, right? Oh no, this is all I want to trade, right? You can do that. Or if you're right in a if we go back, okay, to our dollar, where our dollar is in the lead, our dollar is our base currency. Oh, I'm just going to take, right, 61.8 positions, 786 positions, or I'll buy it in the green. Work my risk management out using the trusty old risk management calculator, and then just seeing what comes of it. Hey, top down, my directional bias is long. Fundamentally, I'm strong on the dollar. Okay, I'm waiting for low prices on the dollar to get long. All right. It can be that simple. You don't have to overthink things. Take what makes the most sense from you out of everything that we teach, because we cover things across the full array of things. Take those things that make sense to you and how you want to trade, and that's how you trade it. So whenever we send out a trade idea or we cover something in these sessions, we may say, oh, that's an 80-20, and you may say, oh, I'm waiting on this low price. Thanks for letting me know we're in an 80-20 zone and this might drop however many pips, but I'm gonna wait for it to get in the buy zone. Right? Gotta see it for yourself. Okay, so this is the dollar yen, right? This came right off of a 382, right? So does your trade plan call for you to be able to take a 382 trade? Right? Or would you prefer that trade come down, right, into your buy zone? How do you play it? What are your rules? Keep it simple. Keep it simple, right? If you decide today, I don't count a trend trade, I only want to trade with the trend, stick to it. Stick to it, right? So if we go back here, look, this is just running right now. Okay, so say your rules are, I like taking trades off the 4-hour charts. I like 61.8s with the trend, 61.8s. If it's a downtrend, I play the 61.8s and higher there. Well, guess what you're gonna have to do on a 4-hour? You need for this dollar to correct. You need for this dollar to correct, okay, 1,000 pips, or okay, hit the D extension and create a new AB boundary. Okay, and I know some people thinking in your head, because I know that's what I just thought. I'd rather you hit the D at this point than the pass on the 1,000 pips to the downside. So at this point, yes, please hit the D, and then we can reset this thing, and then we can just look for a continuation. But if that's your rule, that this is where you like to take positions off the 4-hour, right? Off the 4-hour, then you wait. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. If the 80-20, I don't like these 80-20s, don't play them, because it's just an option. Okay, it's just an option. All right. So did that today, exit and profit 4 p.m. Your Aussie GBP, your NZG. Great work. Great work. So that's what you think about. Just be patient. That's why we cover all the currency pairs, right? We go over all the currency pairs, because if you have rules like that, then there's going to be several pairs that you click through and it's like, it's not in my zone. It's not in my zone. It's not in my zone. But hey, if this was right now in your zone at a 61.8 and your bias is bullish, strong dollar, then you know what? I waited however long I had to wait for a move that's going to eventually yield me 1,300 pips. I think that's worth the wait. I think that's worth the wait. Okay, that's how you have to think through it. All right, so if we come down to the 1, okay, look at it. It's just dancing. It's just doing the dance. Right? It's with the cloud on it. It's just moving sideways, then it exploded. Okay, so now, right, if you like shorter term plays, explosive candle, do we get the correction and then the continuation, right? If those are your type of setups. Okay, if you're like, man, I don't like the higher time frame, 4 hours, all of that stuff. Maybe, right, if you're a day trader, oh, I want to see if this pulls back. If you're not going to short it, right, day trade, wait for this pulls back. And then if my cloud stays bullish, I got all my confirmations, I'm going to look to get long on it. So maybe it's time. It is time for this D extension on the 4 to get hit. We're not going to get that pullback. Well, you can take advantage of that on your 1 after the correction to the downside, right? So it becomes boom, right, and then there. Right. if you play that based off the cloud break. Did we get a 61.8? Nope. Right. So if that's your rule, then this is not going to make sense to you. But if you like playing cloud breaks and you see that impulsive candle, then that may be your play. Okay. Discovery. All right. Discovery. So we let me see this. Where you get this article from today, Ryan? Oh, 9/14, huh? That's new, huh?
Yeah, just popped up, man, out of to Japan Times.
Woo. Oh yeah. Put this in the chat, man. For everybody. Like, yeah. Yen flirts with breaking 145 as verbal intervention intensifies. Jeez. Pull the plug on that thing, see it drop.
Yeah.
Might get that 1,000 pips. because that's is good for their exporters, right? Well, to a certain extent, right? Because your exporters is like, oh, people from the outside can come in and buy a lot of things from Japan and to get the most bang for their buck with the exchange in the US dollar, because you got a weak yen, right? But that puts a lot of pressure. A weak currency is going to put a lot of pressure on, right, the natives, right? The consumer in Japan, okay? People who are native to the currency. That puts a lot of pressure on them. And then eventually, even with your exporters, right, it starts to hamper, because the cost to produce the product that you want to sell starts to become too expensive because of the supply cost, right, for a weak currency. So at some point, right, intervention. So they haven't done it since '98. Now they're not like the Swiss National Bank. Swiss National Bank can do it 2 times a week. So this is so it's been a while since they've had to do it. Man, I feel old. 1998. Whew. But yeah. So man, yeah, fluctuating into 145 overnight. Japan's weekend. The dollar break about 145 and bring 146.78 into play. Level reached before joint US intervention, Japan US intervention to support the yen back in '98. We'll see, because I don't see the freight train stopping unless they do something.
Yeah,
Stay up until it breaks.
It
Okay. Stay up until it breaks. I know, right?
But that's we got that monthly high at 147,634.
Man, this thing is, my goodness.
That's the next level.
This is just getting just goofy out of control. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. But that crown playing out though.
It is. It is. Man, oh man, oh man. Look, you see that?
Next couple of days will be interesting.
You see this date? That's 98.
Yeah. So we might get there and see the push then.
So hold on to your count. Hold on. Wow. Wow.
4,000.
Well, continue to keep an eye, like she said, stay up.
Right.
But wow, that's the dollar yen. They're talking intervention. I don't know how else you get that under control. I know they love, right? They believe in it, right? Let the free market play out, but you just got CPI data that in no way supports the Fed easing off the gas pedal. And it's going to be outrageous for, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say that the other data might not support a reversal course either.
And I was going to say, it might not be pretty coming out of the UK tomorrow either. Well, hey, the good thing is in the forex market, everybody, you can make money on the way up and the way down. So I will plan to make money on the way down if that happens. So, all right. So we got a little bit of time left here. Let's take a look at, if I take requests, I did want to take a look at crude oil since you brought that up. All right. Just doing the dance. Yeah. Just hovering. Okay. I want to see that. See what we're doing with oil kind of just moving sideways right now. All right. So any pairs, got time for a couple. Any pairs? Oh, XAU USD. There we go. We already know the deal. All right, Dominique. I'll take a look at that gold. Down. I don't come to support at 1677. All right. Let's see. Testing that support and test that level. Oh man. Hey, what's that? 1626 potentially. That's it. So we're short right now. I mean, it tested, right? We drew that up a while ago. Tested that level and then pushed down. So just continue. I'm looking to continue bearish. Let me get your pullbacks. What do we have? Anything on the that's just down, right? And so if anything, right, we look for a correction, right? And then a continued move down. See how that plays out. This 127 zone right here, just support at 1688. So maybe we get there first. You know, but I'm cautious with the gold. I probably look for high prices to continue to get short. So I'm not sure that gold as a hedge against inflation because the dollar is ruling the day. In that pair.
So much for that.
Yeah. In this scenario, right? Every scenario is different, man. Times change. Times change. So much for that being that hedge. All right. So that's that there. Any other pairs that we want to take a look at?
Can you look real quick at that Aussie New Zealand?
Yeah, Aussie New Zealand. We'll take a look at Aussie New Zealand. We'll take a look at dude, that Aussie New Zealand. I thought that was gonna go long off that support, man. It did too, didn't it?
It went long, but it went right back to that high.
Oh man. And we'll take a look
It
at
went
that
right back
Aussie.
to that high.
Yeah, man. Let's look at this. Check this out. I was looking at this earlier today, like, man, I remember us talking about this. Right? That's the look on it on the one. Look at that.
Yep.
Look at that break. Oh, that was clean. It sat there forever. Look at that. Bam. As long as it doesn't take out the A, it has no choice but to go your way. Man, that looks like that's gonna hold as a higher low. We're back in the buy zone. That might continue to push.
Yeah. That didn't count it as a touch of the D extension there.
It did not, and I do not know why. It did not. It did not do it. It did not do it. I don't know why. I don't know, because that's there. 112, 526. Oh no.
Ah, interesting.
It's not there yet. It's not there yet. It's not there. The good old smart fib. Don't reset like it should, but so that's where we are. We're trying to get there. So that's making higher highs and higher lows still. Look at that break through the trend line and break that monthly support at 111.81. Remember we were talking about that above 111.81.
Yep.
You were saying it. It tested it too. It retested it and then it continued. What's that look like on the cloud? When did you get a break on that? Probably somewhere around that area.
Oh, to the upside, yeah.
Before. Look
right
at that.
below.
Woo. Some good confirmation there. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. That's probably gonna carry. At least to take that extension out. All right, let's look at the pound Aussie. That's it. We tapped out. It's Tuesday. Hold on. Pound Aussie. All right then. Right, still haven't gotten that 382. Starting to find out support. This is going to be an interesting one for tomorrow with that data coming out for the pound.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting. I know I took the that was when I played the one of these pound pairs today. Was it the pound? Pound Aussie. Pound Aussie.
Did you put it? Okay.
Yeah, the pound Aussie, the pound Swiss. I took a hit on though. I took a hit.
Yeah, I did too.
I took a hit. Just that risk off, man. That Swissy kicked in, but yeah, I took a beat down, but on that one. But yeah, so let's take a look at the 4. Right, starting to make that move up. I mean, you thinking above 171.32? We going. It's going now, right? It's going now. So let's see. Let's take a look at it. All right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're sideways, right? We're moving sideways, but we're starting to get some upward momentum. And then here on the 1, right? I took this off this low. So you're looking at a correction. Give us a decent correction. Let me take this off since I know I got the break now. I'm not jamming up too much. So maybe if we stay above it, okay, we get long. That confirmation. If I'm playing these with the cloud, like I would just do it just like right, you do everything else. Just if you want that extra confirmation, you get it to pull back to that cloud. Just draw you. Thing like that. See if it break, then take the shot. So I'm still thinking long on that. I would love to see that push. No daily 382 yet. CPI data coming out, right? That's tomorrow for the pound. Yeah, CPI.
Yeah, 2 a.m.
Yeah. So we'll see. We shall see. So that is the pound Aussie. Any other questions on that pound Aussie? Mary? Nope. You good? All right. You got the same thing? You trying to play it long or what's the deal?
Long.
Long? Yeah, me too. Me too. All right. So let's take a look at did you see the pound cat, right? Pound, yeah.
No, you can take a look at it. It's moving interestingly. But
yeah.
When you were talking through which one you took, I was just making guesses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but buy zone. Man, this might be interesting tomorrow with CPI data for the pound. It's been taking a pretty good, smacking as of late. So
yeah,
this might force it to get long.
My question on this one is, do we get another push down to get to that 148 level?
Oh, yeah. And then move.
Right. Yeah, because you broke through that last level at 152. And that 148 now is an all-time low.
Mm-hmm.
On the monthly, it's showing indecision right now, but yeah, technically set to shoot below it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jeez.
So that's what I'm watching. If we get to swing low and we push back up, then I'll look to take a shot on it. If we get the confirmation with the cloud on the 1 hour, potentially the 4 hour as well. But I'm thinking we might get another push to the downside, man.
Potentially, yeah. Ooh, it's not pretty. Look at that. That level that it broke. It's pretty enticing, man. When it gets to those levels like that, that gets, you start
Right.
itching to take a position. Like, man, how much lower is that gonna go? But you never know, I guess. It's a GJ. Just doing the GJ thing. So I mean, they're gonna have to do something, because it's like no matter how many times we see these yen crosses hit highs, they just keep getting higher. And we're not to the point where we're not even getting major corrections. Like, I done got caught in that trap a couple times. So, so I'm like, something's gonna have to give. That's a beautiful 80-20 setup on a 4. It wicked out right at that level, right?
Yeah.
Right at that sell limit. But man, I can't buy a correction on the pound yen. So
I'm in the same boat, man. I've been looking for these these yen pairs to correct for the longest time, and they won't give it. They won't give it. They get a little burst, and then they run it back to the upside. So,
yeah,
I don't know. With this one back at the top of a range, so we could maybe get a push down, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But hey, if I could just get it there, if I could just get it there, then we'd be in business. But I don't know. That's the end. All righty. Well, that's all I have. Anybody, do we have any other questions before we log off? There's a lot of pairs to keep your eyes on. A lot of things setting up. Right. Good week. Make sure you guys, you check that newsletter. All right, because we will start posting like what we're seeing off of that. So these played out pretty good. Oh, you're welcome, Jerry. So make sure you keep your eyes on that for when that comes out. Thank you, Kim. Appreciate your participation and your feedback. So that's that. I will take a look at, because I know we were talking about that earlier before we get off here.
Ready?
Yes.
I have not been struggling, but I want to kind of get like a sense of what is your methodology in terms of using, we do have the 28 pairs. I know Ryan had mentioned, you can mark off the on your pairs that you have, highlighted by color, but what other strategy do you employ in terms of really monitoring those all 28 pairs that we're looking at?
Oh,
in terms of setting our setup, yeah.
Setting your setups. Honestly, what I do, right, if I'm not setting alerts on horizontals, I just a couple of times a day, right? And because we already have our charts prepared, I just go click the room. Like I'll start at my Aussie CAD, I'll check it in the morning, and then I'll check them in the afternoon, kind of like once, especially like after like London closes, I'll see where the levels are and what the progress is, and then I'll check them. Of course, I'm checking because we're at the end of the day, because we, running the evening session. So I just check it like 2 to 3 times a day, and then like set alerts, right, at key levels a lot of times. So for example, like I'll just use this one. Like if I was running this off the daily, then I would just set my horizontal and set my alert and my alarm that I'm at that level. You know what I mean? While I'm waiting on them. So based on your trade plan and your trade rule, if you only trade at certain levels, then just set your horizontals there to alert you. Like, especially like if you're not using buy limits, sell stops, buy stops, just set, an alarm to alert you to when price hits those levels.
Okay.
That's what I do, because you feel like you've been missing trades, missing setups.
Or not consistent in terms of like finding more setups, because you're just stuck on being like, I'm just stuck on like maybe a few pairs, when there's others that you could catch,
Yeah. So the key, do you every weekend you setting up all your you going through all your pairs and setting them up, or you're just focusing on those few?
I focus like at least half, like 10.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if anything, right? If you had a time, I know you probably got super busy, but if you can get through all of them, just your support and resistance, and just drop your smart fib. You using Smart Trader or you using Trade?
Yeah, Smart Trader.
Smart trader. So just market support and resistance. It takes some time, but when you end up getting super fast at it. You know, I was dirt at the beginning. You know, for one, I couldn't halfway figure stuff out in the beginning, but once I forced myself to be disciplined and just block out that time. So if you go through and set up all your pairs and then try to determine your directional bias, because you're going to find somewhere it's just moving sideways and there's nothing there, so you automatically eliminate those quick. You know, you can look at your chart, and if you look at your higher time frames, it's like, oh, this is just moving from left to right across the middle of my screen. It's like, okay, I'm on to the next pair. You know, but for ones that have a direction, if you could just determine your bias and then drop your fibs and then set your trade plan and your trade rules. So say your trade rules are, I only want to trade 61/8, you know, then it becomes super, 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 super simple in regards to how I'm setting that up, because this trade could have been, price action could be here. Well, you know what? That's easy for me to look at that or do nothing with that because I don't trade that level anyway. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't trade that level. So if I was to come to this chart here, whatever time frame you want, maybe you like to look for 4-hour setups, 1-hour setups. If I just click on my chart, so it becomes real easy, because then I just go and I'm like, oh, Aussie Swiss, I like my 4-hour chart. I take a look at it, you know, and a lot of times I do it from my phone. I go in Smart Trader off my phone, just go to the site, and I'm like, oh, there's nothing there. Okay, I'm out. You know what I mean? Didn't hit my level, I'm out. I don't want that. I'm not itching to get into a trade, right? To go down lower and try to find the time frame. So for example, like here, say you were going through and you're like, oh, my bias is short on an Aussie Swiss. Okay. Then if you had your chart set up coming out of the weekend, okay, this is just sitting here, right? I don't have to manually go and do anything, right? Once I've got that set up coming out of this weekend, now I just go here and I can just set an alarm, a chart alarm, and say, you know what, bang, 61/8. If it touches that level, right? If you don't want to use limits and things like that, which is cool, then I just want to be alerted to, like, so what I'll do on the weekend is I'll set, if I saw something like this, I'll set it all up. Why? Because if I want to put my stop above the A, I'm gonna put it there. Why is that? Because if I go into my phone and I go to Smart Trader and log into my account, I can see that. So right there in my MetaTrader, if price comes up, I get an alert, and price comes up to this level, I can go in here and say, you know what, 61/8. If my original trade plan is 61/8, I'm taking the trade, then here's my TP. Boom, just like that. So if I get the alert, I go into my phone, I automatically know now what to put into my MT4. 65.98 for the stop, the extension 63.85, a market execution on the trade. It hit my level. Boom, I'm in. And then I just keep it moving, right?
I never did Smart Trader on my phone, so I think you said the magic word.
Yeah, you can just go, like, I'm always just scrolling through, like, I'll go in, you know, I'm at the office or whatnot, I just go to smarttrader.com, log into my account, and then I'll just click through my charts. And this is my mother chart, the 1 hour. Then I'll just look at the 1 hour. It's like, man, do I have a 61/8 level? I'm short Aussie Swiss. That's my bias. Do I have this level yet? Oh, I got this level. Okay, then it's time for me to enter the trade, put in my numbers, and then I'm off and running, right? That's if you want to manually do it. Other than that, you play it like you trade super small, 1/4% or whatnot, and you make this a sell limit, right? You make that a sell limit, and then when you put that into your MT4, it's going to ask you for what? Your entry price, your stop, and your TP. So even if you're at work, if it doesn't get to this level, it's not going to take me into a trade anyway, right? If it does, then I'm automatically going to be put into that trade, you know, while I'm working, you know, doing whatever I'm doing. So that's how you can play that. Now, if the trade turns over and gets short before it hits your level, say at 382, that's all right, because that's not your trade plan anyway. You know, so that's the only way I survive, is if I have everything set up and have an idea coming out of the weekend on what my potential setups are. Now, you might not have anything coming out of the weekend that's at a level. Say you're looking at it on the Saturday, like, so come market open, you're not gonna put any positions in.
Right.
you need this trade to move to 65.40 to take your initial trade. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just have to manage it, but that's the reason why, you know, we do the ritual and things like that, because 99.9% of people who are learning to trade, you know, are working full time. They have lives, they have families and everything else, you know. Trading is not the 8-hour a day desk job for them, you know. So that's why the preparation is key, you know. So you may come out a Sunday with only 2 or 3 pairs, and that's okay, because what you have to keep in mind is that the type of setups that we like to take, they're not 5 and 10 pip setups. These are, you know, these for a while, you know.
Yeah. I was just trying to create a system where, you know, I'm in a ritual doing that, but then also tracking, and that's, you know, to make sure that, you know, you have your tracking. I'm tracking exactly, okay, how many trades I won, how many trades, you know, and be able to be consistent with it. So
and use the workbook when you can. A lot of times you can start setting that workbook up on the weekend while you do your analysis.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So great question. Great question. You got it. All right. Ryan, you had the same question? Good. Force calculator can help. Yeah, it can. It does. You just have to stay disciplined to it, just like anything else. I have a stability bar to do sit-ups, but I don't use it. So looks nice.
We'll use it, yeah.
Right. So looks nice. Nice color, but I don't use it. Don't do me any good. So Ryan, anything to add before we close out?
Man, look, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. I want to reiterate what Benny mentioned earlier. I think it was Kim's question. Give yourself some grace, man. Learning this skill is learning a brand new skill, right? You didn't learn how to walk overnight. You didn't learn how to ride a bike overnight. You didn't learn how to drive overnight. You didn't learn the skills for the job that you have overnight. This is the same way. So give yourself some grace. Give yourself permission to take the time to learn the skill, right? Give yourself permission to do that. And then just take your time, right? There's no time frame on this. There's no comparison in this, right? You're not behind anybody. You're on your time, right? You're on your time. It's not about anybody else's. Nobody's experience will ever be the same as yours. So their time will never be the same as yours. There's no way to compare the two. So take your time, give yourself grace, give yourself permission to grow. Give yourself permission to grow today. All right.
That was Brian. Thank you so much. I was struggling with that so badly. I see new people coming into the group, and it appears that they have better questions and they appear to be doing so well. And I said, what are you doing? But I needed that. If it was for no one else, it sure blessed my socks off. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Can I ask you a question? I don't mean to prolong the session, but can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Better questions compared to what? Better questions
to the
compared
one
to
that
what?
I was asking. Yes, sir. Yeah, compared to my question, or I guess compared to my questions or what I would appear to be stuck on.
What makes the questions better or worse?
I don't know. I think it felt like it had more depth as opposed to maybe more knowledge. You know, because right now my stuff is real surface based. You know, like just learning what extensions are and that kind of thing. And just, I guess, that's a good question, right? I didn't go that far, but I think that's what it was. Just seem more depth, more educated. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah. And so think about it from this perspective. You don't know what questions to ask yet. Right? This is new to you. You don't know what questions to ask yet. So as you're going through the training,
It's a great
As you're
point,
showing
man.
up to these sessions,
That's good.
right?
Yeah, that's very good.
You're then
Yeah,
able to
thank you.
formulate and figure out what you don't know. What somebody else might have already, they might be in a different
Right.
training video, or they may have experienced this industry before, right? So that's even more of a reason to give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace.
Yeah. It's like the levels of learning, right, Ryan? You don't know what you don't know, and then you know what you don't know.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You got this.
Yeah.
You got this.
Awesome session.
Thank you
awesome
all so
session.
much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
You broke me free, Benny, when you said smart trader on the phone. I was like, oh my God.
I know. Once I figured it out, man, like, oh, I go to the site, just log in directly. Yep, it works. It works. So, sometimes it's just the little things. Just the little things. So great session, everybody. We will be back tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with my man, Mr. Ryan Carthage. Until then, have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night.